All right, hello and welcome. If you're revising for your GCSE computer science exam, you are in the perfect spot. Today, we are going to get our heads around two absolutely essential data structures, arrays and records. Okay, let's get right into it.
So, let's kick things off with a big question. How do you actually manage loads of different data in a program? I mean, you already know that a simple variable can hold one piece of info, right? Like a name or a score. But what happens when you need to store a whole list of scores, or all the different details about one person? Well, that's where things get messy, and our simple variables just don't cut it anymore. We need better tools.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the data challenge itself. Then we'll see how arrays solve part of the problem. Next up, we'll tackle records for more structured data. Then, the really cool part, putting them together. And we'll wrap it all up with a handy toolkit to get you prepped for your exam.
Okay, first up, the data challenge. Look, storing one score in one variable, that's easy. But what if you have all the scores for an entire class? Or what about one single student? They have a name, an ID, different scores. How do you keep all that organized? That's the puzzle we're here to solve.
And that brings us to our first big tool for the job, arrays. The best way to think of an array is like a bookshelf. It's perfect for lining up a bunch of similar things, like all your textbooks, in a nice, neat, numbered order. And in Python, we have something that works exactly like this.
So what is an array officially? Well, it's a data structure that stores multiple items of a similar type in an ordered sequence. The two words you absolutely have to remember for your exam are multiple and ordered. And in the world of Python, we do this using something you've probably already seen, a list. All right, let's look at some actual code. We've created a list here called spam with 4 different strings in it. Now, to get an item back out, we use its position, which we call an index. But, and this is the super important part you cannot forget, in programming, we always start counting from 0. So to get the very first item, Sir Robin, we ask for spam 0. And to get the third item, chicken, we have to ask for spam 2. Got it? 0-based indexing is absolutely key. Okay, so arrays are awesome for ordered lists of similar things. But what about that other problem we had? How do we store lots of different kinds of information about one single thing? For that, we need records. So if an array is the whole bookshelf, a record is like a detailed index card for just one of the books, listing its title, author, and genre, all in one handy place. So for your exam, a record is just a collection of related data fields for a single entity. You know, it groups different bits of information that all belong together. And the perfect tool for this in Python is the dictionary. Check this example out. We've created a dictionary called new cheese. See how it's made of pairs? We have a label, which we call a key, like type, and then the data it holds, its value, which is cheddar. So to get the info, we don't use a number index. Nope, we use the key itself. We literally ask for new cheese type, and boom, it gives us back cheddar.
This right here is the fundamental difference, and it's so important. With an array, a Python list, you get data using its position, its index. You ask, what's at position 0? With a record, a Python dictionary, you get data using its label, its key. You ask, what's the value for the key type? Position versus label. Remember that, and you're golden.
Okay, now for the magic moment. This is where it all comes together. The real power for handling complex, real-world data comes when we combine these two ideas. Imagine you need to store data for a whole class of students. Well, you can use an array, a list, to hold the list of students. But each item in that list can be a record, a dictionary, holding all the details for one student.
So how do you actually build this? It's like a simple recipe. Step 1, create an empty list. That's your container. Step 2, create one complete record, a fully formed dictionary. Step 3, add that record to your list using .append. And step 4, just repeat. Make another record, append it. Make another, append it. It's as simple as that. And here's what that recipe looks like in actual Python code. We start with an empty list called cheese. Then we have a for loop that runs 10 times. Inside the loop, it creates a brand new cheese record, our dictionary, and then it uses cheese.append to add that entire dictionary to our main list. So when the loop is done, we have one big list containing 10 complete cheese records. An array of records? So let's pull all this together into a practical toolkit that you can take straight into your exam. Because knowing what these things are is one thing, but knowing when to use each one, that's where you really score the marks.
Okay, here it is, the bottom line. If you have an ordered sequence of similar items, like a list of names or high scores, use an array, a Python list. If you need to store varied details about one single item, like a person's profile with their name, ID, and so on, use a record, a Python dictionary. And when you have a list of complex items, like a whole database of user profiles, you combine them. You make an array of records, a list of dictionaries. That's the secret sauce.
So I'll leave you with a final thought. Look around you. Your contacts list, a music playlist, the stats for your favorite sports team. What real-world data could you organize using these tools right now? Thinking about how you'd structure it is the absolute best way to make these ideas stick. Good luck with your revision.